Right. Say, guys, I'm here with Nathan Draper.
Olson.
So, Nathan Draper Olson, right?
Yes.
All
Yep.
right. So, Nathan
Correct.
Olson is what you go by.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. Awesome. So, if you guys have any questions, just drop them below. Or if you're watching the replay, drop them below and I will tag Nathan and he can answer any questions. A replay will be on YouTube, it'll be on Facebook, it'll be on LinkedIn, it'll be on every platform possible that we can get it on. So, without further ado, we're going to go and get started. So if you have any questions, just drop them in. So, but yeah, hey Nathan. So tell me a little bit about yourself. I know we were chit chatting a little bit and how you got into SEO and stuff. And I just kind
Yeah.
of want to get to know you and your story.
Yeah, no problem. Well, thanks for having me and thanks for everyone who's tuning in. And basically, my journey actually kind of landed in my lap. I was a plumber and I did that for a long time. I made good money for what I needed at that time. But I hurt my back.
Hmm.
And so when I got a back injury, I was like, I was in constant pain because you can't be hauling water heaters in and out, climbing under sinks and getting in crawl spaces. That's crazy. Um,
Yeah.
so what happened is my boss put me in charge of his marketing. So I was interviewing all these companies and coming in, and what ended up happening is I was like, you know what, I could do a better job than these guys. And I told them this during a meeting. They were kind of like, instead of being defensive, they were like, oh, really? Well, why don't you go ahead and be in charge of this and
Hmm.
this location, and we'll go ahead and be in charge of this other location, and let's see what happens. Well, I ended up ranking it and it ended up working. And they were like, behind the scenes, they hired me to do some more clients for them.
Hmm.
So, so then, as that I just grew and grew and grew until they finally gave me every client they had. I quit my job to concentrate on marketing or SEO at the time because it was like that's all I did was the SEO. And it went well, but then the company that was hiring me started to have the trouble because they were doing some kind of crazy stuff with like scrape box and stuff that, this was the era of penalties. So
Yeah.
like all their clients got penalized in that aspect. So they kind of like ghosted me for a while, and I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? I ended up advertising on a Warrior Forum for, I think it was like 20 or 30 bucks, whatever. I put it on there. I had some people I had so many responses because I was charging so little because it was like, I'm used to hourly at the time. So I'm going, $150 to rank your map. And people are coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
And so I took on a bunch and I was doing well. And I've just kind of grown from there. Just kept learning more and more and more from maps to organic to, I do some YouTube video editing. I do a little bit of everything really, just always learning and trying to grow. Um,
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of got thrown into it. It's kind of a lot like me. It's like I never, quote unquote, I didn't set out in life and go, oh, I want to do SEO.
right. Yeah.
I started out because essentially I got fired. Actually used to do accounting, and what had happened, I'd clean up their books, and then 6 months later, you're terminated once they get someone else cheaper in once you've done all the work and cleaned everything up, and kind of got sick and tired of that. Started went to school a little bit myself for web design or graphics and web and coding, and then we did. I remember we had a contest. He wanted us to go get a client, build the website. And this is kind of where I believe it or not, really is we were doing everything manually. This is back with Dreamweaver and everything. It was not something where you had WordPress or nothing. So, this is kind of where I kind of get into the whole, if you will, VA system type thing.
Hmm.
It's where I get the work and I hired literally the other students to duplicate all the pages I had to duplicate because I actually did a dog breeding website.
Hmm.
All right. And so we did that, and then I kind of got into that. And then I remember after that, I made so much money doing just web and picking up some clients that I was like, oh crap, this is really good money. And when I say good money, I mean, I was used to making, $600 a week or whatever.
Hmm.
And then you make a couple of $100 just for a website. You're like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing that for the rest of my life, the other work. So wound up quitting, not quitting, but taking a sabbatical.
Hmm.
And then from there, I had another client that introduced me to somebody to a website. He's a Jewish guy named Brad Lefkowitz, and then he wound up having me do, hey, well, could you rank me on Google? This is back where you're talking Panda and Penguin and all them. And I was like, so rank you on Google, and that's called SEO. And this is where I'm actually asking questions like, well, how much does it pay? And he said $2,000. And I was like, yes, I know that. I know nothing about SEO, but I knew I like $2,000. And I remember he met me at the old casino or poker room in Orange Park in Florida. And he gave me $2,100, $2,000 and $100 bills in a manila envelope. And I was like, this cannot be legal. What I was thinking, but that was how I got started into it too. But it was kind of like it wasn't something you just intended on doing.
Yeah.
Now I kind of want to, because one of the things I seen with you was like this guy's like standing next to like either I've seen you at Comic Cons or I've seen you next to celebrities, sometimes some hip hop artists and stuff, and I'm like, dude, what is he doing in SEO next to hip hop artists and stuff like that? And that kind of caught my attention. So I'd like to hear kind of that side of the story as well and how you got into that. Instead of just doing, oh, I'm doing plumbing and I'm doing roofing and
Right.
home services, the
Right.
general stuff that everybody does. Everybody likes to hear, the unique side of your story. Like a lot of people think for me that I do constant SEO, SEO, SEO. And until I say, no, actually what I do is I'll do SEO for a period of time, like right now. And then in a few more months, I'll go and play poker or whatever.
Yeah. So
So,
basically, I just basically would go in and I would wherever celebrities were going to be. It's sometimes it would be Comic Con, sometimes it would be like festivals, film festivals. We got Sundance Film Festival here in Utah, so they're going to be running around Park City. They're going to be certain places. And basically, my opportunity is to meet these people and to basically, I have it all pre-planned. So it has to be this specific celebrity. I can't just go in and go, let's hope I run into one or whatever it's going to be. That's
I hope I run into Will Smith today.
right. Yeah. Let's hope I run into Will Smith and he wants to do, me to do some work for him. That's just not going to happen. So what I did is I did my research, and once I figured all these things out, it was like I'd go through and I'd find these ones that had horrible websites and different things that needed improved, and I would basically focus on that. So I focused generally on celebrities I liked, or ones I wanted to meet, ones that I felt I could probably work with, which you don't really know celebrities because once you do get to meet them or know them, they're not always what they portray themselves to be in to the outside world. But so I'd create these websites for them, basically complete, finished, done. And so then when I'd run into them, whether it be a Comic Con event where I actually paid to meet them or get an autograph, whatever it may be, or waited in the line, and then as soon as I met with them, I'd just be like, hey, be honest with them. Some of these hip hop artists or any of the artists, they've changed my life. They got me through some bad times before. And I'd be like, hey, that one album, and I'd drop the name and be like, really changed my life, really helped me through some real dark times. I really appreciate you. And you got to talk to them like they're people too. If you go in and you're that fan that's like, everybody knows that fan. So you just got to talk to them like they're people. Hey, look, this is the website I built for you. You can have it. Like, look at it. I'd hand them my phone. Once you hand them something, they almost got to listen to you because they're holding your phone. Like,
so you actually go in, you've done your research first, right? This is the person I want to see. He's coming here or she's coming here. Here's what they have as far as web presence or website. Rebuild it, and then go and meet them in hopes, not even knowing that you are, in hopes that you're actually going to go talk to them.
Yep, exactly.
So you've already invested all this time and effort, and a lot of people I talk to them all the time and be like, if that's one of the methods that I was talking to you about, even is like I've had people like Dan Henry, everybody knows, like New Bar and stuff. He's like, Henry made a post one time. He said, first off, first lesson most people need to know is 7, 8, and 9 million, figure earners are not on social media most of the time.
Yep.
They're not posting, they're not engaging, they pay someone else to do it. But he said this at one happened time he was on there and he had a guy, instead of coming into his inbox and going, hey, I can do graphics for you, I can do website for you. He actually did the website redo or graphics that he was wanting to pitch them, said, hey, just wanted to show you my work. Here's the graphic I redid of your recent one that you sent out. And then he wound up hiring him full time. So from what I remember the story went, but that's kind of interesting that you took that, because a lot of people don't want to invest that kind of time into it, even though you can get, for cheapest chips or crackhead prices websites anymore. Like if you wanted to, you could buy tons of websites for me and just go out and pitch them to whomever, whatever service.
Yeah, and that is a great way. I'm just going to tell you right now, like I put a lot of time into these too. These would be, $4 or $5, $10,000 websites that we build out for these people.
Yeah.
But I don't look at it like I'm trying to get a sell. What I'm trying to do is for them to accept this gift, because once you have one under your belt, talking to the next one's so much easier, because it's kind of like you can start, you can drop their name. You can be like, hey, here's the website I built for so and so.
Yeah.
Here's the one that I built for you. And then, they see it for themselves. They kind of sit back, they think about it. And before you know it, they start referring their friends, like, because it's kind of like, well, so-and-so could really use your help with this. And usually I give them the website, just so you know, I don't usually even charge for it. They've offered to pay.
I mean, quite honestly, what you're doing, there's a book I'm trying to remember because I read so many of them, but he talks about it's like, most people that actually make it in life, they're not really looking to just take like a lot of people are.
Mhm.
They're looking at, when I meet you, is what do you need? What does Nathan need right now? And Nathan may need something and he tells me, and then whenever I find whatever Nathan needs, I give it to Nathan, or I connect Nathan to the person that has what Nathan needs, or you're a connector. And then what winds up happening is all your needs generally are usually met because of the connections you've made in your network.
Right, exactly.
So-
And that's it. It's just like, here, you can have the website. They've offered to pay me, but my end goal isn't websites. I don't even like website design. To be honest with you, I don't even like it. I'm good at it. I went to school for graphic design, different things. I know Photoshop, I know all sorts of different tools. But at the end of the day, that isn't my end goal. I wanted to do marketing for these people. I want to be more involved in different projects and things, not designing websites, because that's one and done. That's, they might hit me up on the next one, or they might like a few edits here and there, but you won't make a living doing things like that. You'll be running around in a circle unless you hire VAs or people to work for you to do those things, which that's the best way to go. But yeah, you don't ever put all your eggs in one basket. I learned that from the beginning when all those penalties hit that company I was working for, white labeling,
Penguin and all that back in the good old days.
And when it hit the company I was white labeling for, I was in trouble. I put all my eggs in one basket. I lucked out with the Warrior Forum at the time, and I was able to, replenish that income, within a week, which was amazing. That's where my eyes opened. If
Back
I
in
could
my
make
day, it wasn't Warrior for me. It was Craigslist.
Black Hat. Oh, Craigslist. Craigslist was good. There was some auto posters and all sorts of fun stuff you could do. Back when you could do HTML.
We set up a network with an IP rotator. And this is where I got into real estate, and you do real estate jobs, postings and stuff. I remember finding people that paid thousands of dollars to do that crap. I was like, because mind you, it took them a good bit of effort to get them up, but I remember going through that. That was kind of one of the big eye openers for me. It's not necessarily Black Hat World, Warrior Forum, or any of that, but that alone was like seeing that there are so many people out there willing to just, I mean, even back then, imagine even if you get like 4 or 5 new clients a month, I mean, it was insane for me. I mean, I just been able to work from home. Like my oldest son has never seen me work for anyone.
Yeah.
And he's 17 years old now. And then my daughter, who's 20 something, has never seen me work for somebody else. And that was all because of SEO and learning if you will, marketing and those sort of things. So
Yeah, once your eyes open up though, once that I don't even know how to explain it. Once that motivation hits that you're like, wow, this is how the rest of the world works, or this is how this works versus a regular job. You start thinking, your mind starts spinning because you had no idea that these little things could make money, no less this amount of money. And then you start going, well, what else is out there? And I've pivoted a lot. My major, like I said, I could tell you the major setbacks I had. The major setbacks I had later on, it wasn't the performing the work, it was that I could only take on X amount of clients.
yeah, because
And
you are a freelancer, you know, and I tell people all the time, say honestly, why I take pictures, because there people are like, you're always bragging about a team and this and that. I'm like, no, what I'm being is transparent
yes,
because most SEOs act like they have this big team behind them. And reality is they don't. They have a
yeah,
Fiverr person, a legit person, not knocking any of that, or they have some freelancers they've met. But me, I'm like, there's a difference between you being on Zoom meeting calls and I actually live here and I actually go to the office and me and my partner Kirk train them and we have 70 something of them. So,
yeah,
and if someone said, hey, if I needed 10 more today, I could go get 10 more today and I would spend the next 6 months training them, but I'd have 10 more today. So it's
exactly.
the only way we've been able to do what I tell people, I was just a typical freelancer in the States, struggling most of the time. I made the money, I got good things and stuff like that. But once I come to the Philippines after COVID's when we really took off. And when I got clients, instead of me doing the work, I trained other people to do what I was normally doing. Because I at one point handled almost 30 something clients by myself.
I
I
feel that.
had
I feel
yeah,
that.
and
I've done that.
that's a lot of crap and a lot of pain. And people think, oh, it's so amazing. You got 30 clients. It's like, no, bro, you don't sleep. You have no
Exactly.
life.
I've
You
been in
don't do
a
nothing.
exactly. No, I've been there. I've been there. I did that.
So
And
you
what I
got a
all
team as well, and that was able. When did you discover, if you will, that hey, I needed a team, and how did you build up your team, et cetera? Are there any lessons that you learned along that in that way as well?
there was lots of lessons I've learned actually. Number one, I knew I always needed a team. And I'm not a big firm, just so everyone's clear. There's only about 5 of us. We use outside things similar to like, William Jones team, legit, different things, freelancers we know, like you mentioned. There's certain things that's just not worth training on, just because to me,
Bingo.
it's not that much money. Like, why would I pay more? Why would I take more time when it exists? It's here, it works.
That's exactly what I say all the time. When we make ours, are you literally, it may seem like an a-hole type thing, but I say, are you still doing your own SEO? Are you
Right,
still doing your own websites?
right.
Did you just like suffering? I mean, because for me, it's like I even asked, why would anyone build their own team? Because I know how much, and you definitely know how much hardship you go through, pain you go through. You got to train these people. We got to have systems, standard operating procedures. Why not hire someone that already has the systems, the standard operating procedures, and the training down? Therefore, because when you have that, and this is what you mentioned earlier about scalability, when you have that, you can scale. When you don't have that, you have a ceiling that you're going to hit every time you get. I don't know, let's say you try to onboard 4 clients. That'd be the death of some companies. Just have, if I can't tell people, if I came to you and said, hey, here's 20 new clients, you could not handle it.
Yep.
You couldn't because you don't have the systems and the team.
And
But when you,
even if you bring somebody in, this one of the things that happened to me was I brought a partner in basically. I trained him. He knew everything that I knew basically at that time. So there was 2 of us. But now
Mhm.
you have somebody who's going to leave because he left. And when he left, he tried to take all the clients with him, by the way. So I considered him a
Wow.
friend before this happened. Um,
Oh, so me and you are a lot alike. We had that to do.
that's
I
when
bet.
That's when the next phase kicks in. You can't train everybody everything. You have to train them on one thing: web design, this section of marketing, backlinks.
You're a lot like me, buddy, because I have people telling me all this, so they're experts. You should teach them everything. I said, tell them, you obviously have not been screwed over, have you? And I'm like, what do you mean by screwed over? I was like, for me, for example, take all 5 or 6 very important team leader type people and the person you think's that your right hand person, and you do what we like to call a coup d'etat. You know what coup d'etat is? Like, what's a coup d'etat? I say they try to take over the entire company. Literally told me, hey, here's what I want to do. Imagine this. You go to the business owner. I want to take over all the clients. I'm going to give you 20-something%. You'll never have to do any work. But I'm taking over. Are you kidding me? I've had that. I've had other people that are close to me still. You're talking about millions of pesos, stuff like that. It's let's say $20,000-$30,000.
Mhm.
People that you trust.
Yep.
And then I've learned the same damn lesson. Don't trust is like what's Tupac say, trust nobody. I trust nobody. I trust
Exactly.
people with my Lord, and that's about it.
Yep.
And learn that lesson. That was a big one for me too. So
It was. It really stung. It wasn't a good thing. I mean, I ended up winning, obviously, but it
well, it's
wasn't
just the
enough.
fact. It's just the fact that it happens. Not only that it happened to you, it happened to you from someone that you were close to.
Yeah, yeah. Someone who was
It's
a friend, someone who,
bingo.
yeah, I would have took a bullet for him at one point, like literally,
Right.
but no, not everyone has that same loyalty, and it's just, yeah. So never ever.
That's probably one of the hardest things to ever learn. It's like I told my wife all the time. It's like the besides my partner, I said I have one good friend, and that's really my wife. I said because I can't trust people. I get people close because I'm an open-hearted person, and then next thing you know, you're being screwed over or taken advantage of.
And then you're labeled as
Yeah.
the bad guy in the end.
Oh yeah.
That's the worst part is they try to
You're
spin
the
it.
monster. And Tom
Yeah.
say, yeah,
I
realize,
didn't pay I didn't pay them enough, and I didn't do this and I didn't do that. And it's like, you made the same amount as me. We were partners. What are you
That's what I tell
talking
people all
about?
the time, but realize that, yeah, I might be the monster now, but I was also the hero in their story as well, somewhere along the
Yeah.
line. But,
And
that does happen, and you kind of got to keep your heart open too. You can't just close your heart off to people after someone takes advantage of you or whatever, because that happens to everybody. I mean, if Jesus, if you don't know if you
yeah,
believe in him, I said, if it happened to Jesus, it's going to happen to you.
happened. Yep, I
It
agree.
happened to the best of these people. If you think you're any better than Jesus, that's where you're mistaken. I mean, you're not. It's still going to happen. You're still going to
Yep,
go through crap, and it's still going to happen. So, but
exactly.
yeah,
So that was one of the other struggles. And then, after I learned and kind of every time I went through something, obviously I had to learn and go, wow, well, that isn't going to work. How do I fix that? Um, but I think mostly, and I got my hands in all sorts of stuff. It's not like you do poker, this and that,
yeah.
web design, this, VAs. You got to kind of diversify your portfolio because you don't know what the future is going to hold. We don't know if Facebook's going to be around forever. We don't know, I remember
TikTok. I
TikTok
hear about
might,
that in the U.S. now,
right.
like
Anything could
crazy.
change. Anything could change. People don't want to believe it. Google could be gone. That's the truth. I remember in Yahoo days, people saying, "Oh, it can't go anywhere. They're big. They're huge." It's like, yeah, Yahoo's gone. They're still around. They just aren't what they were. Um, so you got to kind of keep your eyes open on opportunities,
Mm.
and finding your target audience is one of the biggest mistakes that I think most people make. They kind of are just like, everyone's can be my client. But then it's like you can't really market to everyone. You have to kind of, the best marketing is when they feel like you're talking directly to them. You're talking
Mm.
about their specific problems. That's why the whole here's your new web design worked, because I'm talking directly to them. I'm showing them their redesigned website. Like it's not just some look what I can do. Here's my portfolio. It's this is what I did for you. Like, do you want it? And so yeah, I think that's a big problem. And then, like I said, outsourcing is I don't know why everyone's so afraid of. They just are. It's just it has to be my way. I do this a certain way, and I do this and this and this and this. That'll hold you back. That's the
We
setback.
get that sometimes where people want us to do it their way, and I asked. I mean, and I told Sue, just me. I asked him, so, well, how many years experience in SEO do you have? Well, I got 3 or 4 or 5 years. Okay, well, when you have 20 something years, then you can come talk to me. Until then, sit back, take a pencil down and take some notes and that sort of thing. And I mean, I'm just being, and not facetious necessarily, it's about how much experience you got. There's a reason why you're coming to me. I have people all the time saying, well, if I wanted to do GMB verification, quote unquote, they could. Well, I'm sure you could. That's why you're buying them from other people, right? You know, stuff like that. I mean, one of the lessons you mentioned earlier, there's another lesson I even experienced is like whenever I came to the Philippines, it wasn't because I was a rich white dude like a lot of them do. They will come over, they retire, marry a nice young Filipino woman, and they're treated like kings. They love it. Awesome. Passport bros, whatever. I came here because I had put all my eggs in one basket. I had 2 big clients, about 3 or 4 smaller clients. Lost the 2 biggest clients. Had already paid for my plane tickets, non-refundable. So what are we going to do? Come over here anyways. And the thing is I learned not to put. If you're going to have a lot of clients, do not have all your money or all your money coming out of one specific niche or one specific client. Like have a lot of small clients and then have some big clients and then do some affiliate SEO and then do some lead generation, do various things. So let's say if you have a table and that table has 4 legs and one leg gets chopped off, it's still going to stand. It might not be as strong, but it's still going to stand. But if you have a table with 2 legs and 2 streams of income or 1 stream of income, and you chop off that leg, you're going to fall. You're going to fall hard. So that was one of my lessons too, so that's why it's like, even now it's like, I'll do we do courses, we do affiliate, we do lead gen, we do white label SEO, regular SEO for small mom and pops and offers and one-offs and all that. Cause there's always something that we're doing. So
that's important. I feel the same way. I do a little bit of affiliate and I got some side projects and this and that. And the other thing, some people will be like, oh, you got to get X amount per client. It's like, no, you want some low ballers in there. Like you said, they may not be producing you like, they're not going to pay the mortgage or pay for, anything like that. But a lot of them and them sitting around for a little bit of work, they are consistent. And if anything,
it's like, I mean, on top of it, kind of depends on who you want to help. I mean, are you wanting to help people build a business? Like one of my greatest things that I like taking, like an agency comes to me. I have one recently I just talked to. He's going to start with 3 different companies. He wants and already has, I think, 8 GMBs in the works. I like taking and doing, let's start with 3. Now we got 8. Now we got 12. Oh yeah, now I'm going to start my marketing company on top of it because he got really good at this specific niche. And then then we already have a case study, so we can actually scale him really fast and take on all the work and everything. I love dealing with those type of people versus Mr. Big Shot that has, I got hundreds of clients and I want to test you out 2 or 3 of them, see if you do really good, and then I'll give you hundreds of clients because most of the time they're good. It just depends,
Depends on expectation and what they really want and whether they're going to make it or not. Some people go in really hard like that and you kind of get those red flags going up from your previous experiences and you're like, wait a minute.
I've had so many people come in and be like, man, I got hundreds of clients and this and that. And it's like, just shut up. Because if you had hundreds of clients, why are you out here looking and acting? Yeah, I mean, I've had people say it, and some most of the time generally do not. I've had people say I sign up, I have competitors that be like, yeah, I signed up 30 new clients today, and this. No, you don't. Trust me, you don't. You may, but I mean, from my experience, people that are actually successful are not out there online bragging about it either. So
no, I agree. Most of them are pretty down to earth people. They just, just your neighbor. You may not even know it.
the first millionaire I ever met was in shorts and a golf shirt. I mean, how did I meet him? I met him in flip flops. So But the thing is, most of them are just normal. Like you even told me, it's like when you're talking to these people, you're talking to them with everyday language. You're not sitting there going in there talking about, like the typical fan or whatever. And
Yeah,
this,
just
the
be
deer
human.
caught the deer caught in headlights type of a thing. So,
Yep.
do you have a human experience and treat them like human beings, especially with most of the celebrities and stuff. They get so sick and tired of people treating them like they're, demigods that can never, fall and not supposed to sin, not supposed to mess up, stuff like
Exactly.
that. But I know they really like hearing, especially like you're talking about, even on other entrepreneurs, on this, like myself, even it's like we like hearing when I've had people, clients tell me, say, you changed my life, or you saved my marriage,
Right.
or you saved my business and stuff like that. That means more to me than, oh, here's this geogrid. It's they give a shit about the geogrid.
Exactly. And that's kind of what's helped me grow really is just being real. Being real. I can't emphasize that enough. That's why I have very specific target audience where it's like, this is who I'm going after. This is who I'm going to land. This is why. This is how, because I'm going to be real with them. This person really did change my life.
Yeah,
And I do owe them something. So if I walk away with zero and they get a free website and they want to keep it and nothing ever happens, we're even. Like,
yeah.
and so looking at it like that makes a lot of sense. I mean, but I've got clients through so many. I've tried everything. Yeah, like at one point, I was certified mailing letters to businesses I wanted to work with because number one, I know they're going to open it. That's how you file. That's how they get a lawsuit is through a certified letter. So if they think they're, they don't know what it is. I might be getting sued. It's important. They already have that in their mind. It's important. And so you just got to make sure that pitch and everything inside that envelope is dead on. You could use the same approach. Buy some websites from Mr. Jones here and have it ready in the envelope. You have a link to that website redesign for them and whatever. You can password protect it if you wanted so that it's not live on the internet hurting almost, whatever, or getting found because you got to be careful with that too. You don't want to get hit with a copyright notice. You don't really want it live on the internet. You just want it to be where they can go see it. Um, but yeah, it worked well. And then I've also done things to where I was even sending faxes at one point. I was faxing these businesses like, hey, we noticed a big problem. Call this whatever. Almost a spammy approach. That's where I learned to be real. Because at that point I was like, I
No,
just
it's
these
kind of the
people to
same.
call
It's the
me.
same way I tell people too, is like, for instance, whenever I mean, one of the people that some people may say they like them, they may not like them, but I tell you, his fucking methods work. Is Chase Rayner or Reiner, however you want to say it, but his method where he's using GSA to send out the audit forms on websites.
Yeah.
I've done it, okay, and the method that he teaches definitely works. And all it is it tells you, so he sets it up. Once he sets it up, hey, is your website still up? Hey, I found a problem with your website, and you get people that reply back. And all you got to do is be human and then show them where there's an error on their website, and I'll fix it for free.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they like it. And then once they say, well, obviously, sir, I can't work for free for the rest of my life, but I'd love to help you on some other stuff. Here's a way I've helped another client in your situation gets where you want to be. And then you watch how many people you close. But people don't want to put in the work. 99% of people are lazy. They don't
It's
want to do
true.
that. They want someone to go, here's a lead. When they say lead, I've sold leads before, and they're like, so what do the leads want? How did you talk to them? How did you get them? How do I talk to them? Where do I tell them I got the lead from? How much are they willing to pay? And I'm like, so what you want is you want them to have their credit card in hand and ready to send you $5,000, right? That's not a lead to me.
That's a
That's,
pre-qualified sell.
yeah, there's a difference between a pre-qualified sell and a lead.
Yep.
And that's where most people get it. It's like, but they want you to basically do it all. But you're talking about that method, I know works. I just never did it with mail. Like I've done it with email, just not mail. But I've seen many good marketers, like direct marketers. That's one of the methods they teach, and I know it works. So
It does. It works. And like I said, then you got to think further into it. Like, what are some setbacks that they might have from me fixing their website? Well, they don't know me. Why would they want to give me the login info? They could be thinking I'm trying to hijack their website. So then it was like, hey, first of all, I know you don't want to click any links because it's an email and I might, it could, who knows what the link is. So instead of that, here's the problem on this page. Here's a screenshot, and then you could just be like, if you want to set up like a webinar, we could connect for 5-10 minutes. You can give me control of your screen. I'll make the change and fix for you right there on the spot.
Yeah.
Here's my phone number. And they'd usually call back like almost 9 times out of 10.
Wow.
Long as it's not on mass scale, obviously. If you're mass just scaling just people and just and some people do that too, and it works for them. Like, found a problem on your website. They didn't even go to the website. It's all just mass email.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's one method we've used, and I've also used SMS and stuff. And some things are getting stricter, but I also know people that know the workarounds and stuff, especially when it comes to the new Gmail DMCA and stuff like that. You just gotta know people that are actually in the game and doing it on a regular basis, not just someone saying they're doing it. So lots of people can talk the talk, but very few people walk the walk.
Yeah.
There's a difference between the them both. So,
Yeah.
but
Every
so
method that I did, I had some success with. So I think what it comes down to is what works for you, what works with your personality, what works with you as a human or as a person. Because one method that may work for somebody, like they build an empire on that, it may not work for you because it just goes against your personality or your whatever it may be. If it's ethics, if it's not ethics, if it's something, you know what I mean? It could be anything. But there could be reasons why you personally can't achieve it through that method.
yeah,
And so you got to find what works for you, really. I mean, there's a million ways to get, you can go, when you put your mind to it and you say, hey, I'm going to get a client today. And whether that's cold calling, I'm not quitting until I land one. Or, you're going door to door, you're going straight businesses, as long as you have that in your mindset that that's going to happen and you stay at it, it's going to happen.
it's kind of the tell people all the time. It's like the benefit of having, if you will, done the freelance and then also ran an agency and done it a few times is the fact that it's all on you. It's not a matter of your boss or having this person fire you or this person saying you're not good enough to have a raise or whatever. It's a matter of if I want a raise, I just gotta go get another client. You know, it's all on me. So it's nothing like. But most people say the benefit of working for yourself is I work for myself. The bad thing is I work for myself. So if I get up and I don't want to work, it's fine, but you're not going to get paid most of the time unless you have a legitimate business with a legitimate team.
Yep.
Which people will tell you all the time. I know the people I listen to at least tell me, say, for example, as long as you're having to get up and work, unless you're making money while you sleep, you still don't have a business. Until you can do that, you don't have a legitimate business. So, so what else are you doing now? I mean, we've kind of heard a little bit about what you've done, how you've done it, and what are you currently doing? Is there anything that you're actually currently doing?
Oh, I'm doing SEO and marketing, web design. I got all the clientele there, but I got some affiliate stuff going that's coming through really well. I mean, technically I could drop all of my SEO clients and be okay. I just don't want to because number one, even if everything's automated and my whole team can handle everything, which I usually double check everything. Like as an example, if I get a web design done and my team hands it in, I look through it. I want to see, and sometimes I'll be like, oh, I could make this look a little bit better, and I'll make the change before it goes to the client. And I never let them talk to the client anyway. I don't
Yep.
because of being burned and
I'm
everything.
the same way. It's like
So I'm a
I
little
used to.
paranoid.
I used to have everything where everybody could go into, if you will, it was kind of not like it's kind of like Trello,
Yeah.
and they would clients wanted to be able to communicate and stuff, and you think client, even not just your staff, you think your clients are on the up and up. No, 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 no. I don't even trust them.
Yeah.
because people will, oh, I could pay this person even less than I'm paying William,
Right, right. And they
or and
kind
then
of
they
want to
try
learn
to
the
cut you
secrets.
out.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
want
and
to learn the
then
secrets. Right. And what they don't understand is things change and move and it's like just because it's working great now doesn't mean in the future. The reason why I've been as successful as I think I have been is because when I'm able to go in, I can see what's going to help them the most. That's important. I target audience because I see a problem. Hey, look, I see a problem. I can fix that. Really, that's not a hard fix. Let's fix that for them and make that money. And then I'll start focusing on the other stuff and expand out instead of just being like, okay, we're gonna do the list on the checklist 1 through 10 when 1 through 6 has already been done. It might need a little bit of fixing, but we'll go back to that. For now, let's go ahead and handle what's in front of us, what the problem
hmm,
is. And that's, in my opinion, to scaling, that's it. You just have to have a good source of whatever you're selling come in, or you need to be able to find a way to get that. And that's
yeah,
finding a problem and giving them a solution. It's as simple as that.
it's very true. It's
And
like all you gotta do is find the solution. Most people, even I tell people all the time, it's like even my own wife, I've talked to her about this too. It's like in general, one of the things I learned from one of my bosses in the past was if we were having a team meeting or whatever, and people would come in and say, hey, here's the problem. He would immediately, so what's the solution? He was not there to give you the solution. If the boss has to be there to give you the solution, then why does he need you?
right.
For him, he was always, what's the solution? Come to me with a solution as well. And at least I've tried this, I've tried this, I've tried this, nothing's working. Then that's one thing. And you don't have a solution, then you need the boss to solve. But if you come to them and we've done absolutely nothing, and you haven't tried anything, and you have no solution, haven't even thought about a solution, then you're more of a pain in the boss's neck than anything.
Yeah, exactly. And then I don't know. I have a forum. It's not real big. I kind of neglected it for a long time. SEO isn't dead. I kind of joke, SEO isn't dead, but forums are. Like I've kind of kept it around. In fact, we just got a bunch of merch come in. I got another guy that's going to be helping me with content and stuff, but SEO isn't dead.com. Just
Mhm.
nothing real special, but I have a theory that I think Facebook, I really believe that the groups and all the Facebook aspect is going to change. I think they've wanted to change. That's why they mentioned Meta. I think that
Well, I've actually at one point I was going to get off of, so I have, excuse me, my throat's dry, but
yeah,
I have about four different groups, one of which is almost 90,000. That group, I grew over about 4 years, 3 years, 4 years, something like that. Then Marches or so of last year in 2023, I had a close friend that I was close to. And at one point, he was running my ads. He found a loop to get into the group, hacked the group, stole the group from me. And then it was in around November, Thanksgiving, Christmas. I got an early Christmas present, which was I had someone get the group back for me. So I hired somebody to do that. But the thing is, I was considering getting off of Facebook groups and going to school or another platform only because of that whole issue, because there are a lot of groups that have gotten hacked that I've seen of other people as well, not just in SEO, but just in big groups, because they specifically target big groups with multi admins. Like I had probably 4 or 5 admins in there, and at one point, then I changed them from admins to moderators. And they look for security weaknesses and then come in and steal the groups. And I was looking at school because it was like, I don't want them to be able to steal my group because there's so much hard effort that you put into growing that damn group over 3, 4 years. And someone can just come along and throw you an email link and you click on it and they steal everything or send you a Facebook message through social engineering. That's generally how most of the hackers work, is through social engineering, not through actually hacking your account.
Yep. Yep.
So
Just like Vegas, Vegas got hit. It wasn't that
yeah,
they hacked in, it was the same thing. They social engineered their way in, from what I understood. They called in and talked to support and basically got them to basically hand them the keys to the kingdom.
and that's I mean that was scary. I remember seeing that one, and I was just like, oh, I mean, you couldn't get into your rooms, you couldn't get cash out of ATMs, you
Yeah.
couldn't do nothing. I mean, I've played poker, so I've been pissed. I
Oh,
mean,
I would have
I've been
I would
pissed.
have lost it. I would have lost it if I would have been there when that happened. I'm just gonna be honest. I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh. So yeah, so that's why I, created the forum, because it was like, number one, there's a million groups, there's a million different things, but the problem with groups and stuff is the content almost gets lost,
Yeah.
because you create so much because we have to stay engaged and to stay active in this, but the content becomes almost unstructured. And there's so many comments, and there's so many things. So, it may not be a forum as a solution, but there's got to be something better to where we can structure
Yeah,
things.
forums I like, and then the schools and the courses and that sort of thing. Like the groups, I have 4 groups, but it's basically I'll post the same thing across all 4 of them because you don't know who's in what. And it's like different people. And then I've asked them, said, well, how many of you will like if I go to school? And I'll be, no, I don't want you to go to school. It's another thing I gotta look at. But I just joined someone's school. I'm like, well, did you know I can have school courses on here on this little device? And it actually gives me notifications anytime Williams posts and stuff. Or William goes live, or William adds a course, or someone comments on something. And that's why I've actually considered, and the fact that they gamify everything.
Yeah.
I mean, so the gamifying aspect of it's how you grow your channels and YouTube, et cetera, and your following. I mean, so,
Yeah. And
but
I
yeah,
think,
I mean,
like I said, I think the groups, if they really wanted to make groups better, they should make it to where there's certain moderators or people who should be able to respond in a certain section, and then the general public in another, because you wouldn't go into a butcher shop and ask them how to bake a cake.
nope.
And that's what I see with the groups. You see everybody coming in, commenting, and making their own. The person's left more confused than they were when they asked the question,
It's
because
very, you got it. And as an administrator, I have to be extremely careful as to who I allow to come in there and comment because of sheer fact, or you'll see a post that will look like someone trying to get help. And reality is they're social engineering, they're posting it with a fake account to get the real people to come in and comment and offer their services so they can tell everybody about their services. And then once they get scammed, when someone buys from them, then they come and blame you as the administrator of the damn group. And they're like, well, I got scammed using someone's services that was in your group. It's like, well, I've told y'all quite honestly, unless it's me or someone that I've approved posting, selling something, do not buy it because you're likely going to get scammed by someone that you'll never be able to see that's 3,000 miles away. I mean, it's just a fact. So,
yeah, exactly. Buyer should always beware. Nothing changed in the digital age. I thought buyer beware was pretty common sense. It
yeah.
applies to more to the digital age than it does to the real world.
It's very true. So, hopefully you guys, I mean, if you have any questions or anything, you catch this replay whenever we play it on YouTube, etc. Just drop your comments and I will make sure that Nathan gets them. And stuff. This has been an interesting one. And it's interesting talking to people who kind of had the same experience, same kind of background. You didn't get started in SEO like a typical person. Sometimes people get started, a lot of times, a lot of us get started, it's just, we need money. And then we find out what's SEO. Oh, SEO is a good entry, low level entry that we can get in and start SEO, but you took it from a unique point of view and coming after, if you will, celebrities and then going to Comic Cons and stuff like that and creating websites and creating connections with people. So I found it very interesting. So take some notes if you're having trouble getting clients. I mean, maybe you're doing it the wrong way. Maybe stop being a taker and start being a giver. This is where I
100%.
say read the book. It's called The Go Giver. and it talks about this very same concept. So, but appreciate you, Nathan. I hope to have you on here again, and look forward to talking to you. And to you guys, be blessed and have a good day. All right.
Thanks for having me. You guys take care.
Appreciate it.